Check. We're good there. All right, so we are back, and we are actually going to be reviewing our own flip. So the first flip that we did last year is called the Cabin Flip in Sunny Slope. It's a duplex. Rosie, what were some of your initial thoughts when we were going into this project?
Oh, so many memories. It's my first one.
Yeah. And it was a big one. Like initially when I walked this property, I walked it before the team and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this one. It was just ugly, as you can see in the video when we're starting it up here. It just was a lot of work. Like initially in the front, there's so much wood. This looked like something you see in Flagstaff as opposed to seeing it in the heart of Phoenix. What do you think of the colors or even the layout?
Well, that part, like the door, it was kind of like
Crooked. Yeah, it wasn't centered into a way where it functions. We wanted to move it initially, but it didn't happen, as you'll see. Yeah. The kitchen was terrible. Kitchen. All of this, like literally,
the carpet.
Carpet. You had to pull out. I mean, there was a lot of work. We really didn't keep anything the way it was.
The ceiling.
The ceiling. Yeah, the ceiling was bad. The flooring. Going into the second unit, the initial entrance to the second unit was through here, through the patio. And then even the backside didn't even have any siding, didn't have anything covering any of the piping there.
That's a studio.
So this was a studio unit here that was approximately about 400 square feet, give or take. Yeah. Full bathroom. And then just a dead space back there. But the cool thing about that dead space that you'll see with the flip is that we actually completely revamped it. So this was like an extension pulled out.
It was serving as a shop, right?
Yeah, it was serving as a shop initially for the seller. And it required just a lot of work. When I walked in, I was like, ugh.
That fence.
But I did this because everyone that was involved was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's run it. And the numbers make sense in that area. The neighbors next door were actually flipping theirs. And as you can see, they have a brand new AC unit over there. So knowing that they were doing work on this street, it was a good sign for us at the price point we got this at. And this actually ended up serving for something really, really cool that we'll show you on the other video. So now going into what the flip actually consisted of was a lot of, I would say we focused a lot on functionality. That was kind of like the most important thing for us, and obviously bringing it up to date, right? So in the front here, we completely revamped it, and oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. But we didn't save the video that we should have saved to review this properly. But yeah, the front we gave a full aesthetic change, the white and the black. What do you think of that?
I love that. It just makes it like so fresh.
Yeah, I mean we're seeing white and black everywhere right now. We wanted to move the door, but there was just no way.
No, there was no way.
Structurally, it would have been very, very difficult to move that over just because the window was so close.
Yes, we wanted to expand that bedroom.
Yeah, and expand the bedroom. As you notice here as well, we actually we enclosed the patio. In the first video, you'll see that it was exposed. We enclosed it, and we actually added LED lighting all the way through. So at night, the patio was actually something that they could take advantage of, which was really, really cool. Having that area, because we wanted to make this in a way where the duplex actually functions as a duplex. So to have two separate people utilizing the space, that was our focus. We're like, if we're going to get our biggest bang for our buck, we got to make sure that whoever buys this, whether investor or someone that's going to be an operator user, knows how to maneuver everything correctly. Because the way it was set up before, there was no separate entrances. There was no even washer or dryer that could be used. And I know that was a big thing that you'll see next. So if you want to continue hitting it there. The windows were all actually dual pane, and we got to keep the windows. So that was nice. We didn't have that expense. The flooring came out nice. I think the only thing we kept was the fan. A lot of lighting.
New kitchen and the ceiling.
Yeah, so the ceiling, if you noticed it on the other one, was actually lowered. So we got it to be consistent all the way through. So that actually was a massive help. So that required some duct work and
A lot of work.
a lot of work, a lot more work than we were anticipating.
Yes.
And if we notice in the bathroom, that's our first issue. That looking back now, we're like, and you see it right there in the entrance.
Yeah.
The vanity was just too big. Whoever ordered the vanity, I'm not gonna point any fingers, but no. Actually, what was also cool about the bathroom was that second glass. So it actually made it look a lot bigger than what it actually was. So that second glass on one of the sides, we actually even kept the sliding entrance on the door there in the bathroom. So the shower entrance there was kept original. But everything else was brand new. I mean,
we extend the closet from one of the bathrooms.
Yeah. We actually made the bathroom even bigger because if you noticed it when you walked in on the other one, it was just an empty hole. It was open, but it was just an empty hole. The kitchen came out really, really nice. The floating
we closed
shelves.
the window that it was over there by the sink.
The window was absolutely something unnecessary before, and now closed up looks a lot better.
We had to add the
new appliances.
Yes, and we had to add over here in the kitchen for the washer and dryer.
Yeah, so we added the double stack hookup to both units because understanding that if this is going to operate like a duplex, that's one of the first things that someone's going to want. They're going to want access to their appliances that need their necessities in reality. So that having the laundry inside, I think, was super important for both units to have, and something that we couldn't even get because at the time the double stack hookups, in all honesty, were so hard to find. Everything was so back ordered that we wanted to add it initially, and I think it would have helped on the resale, but we just couldn't find them, so we just had the hookups, unfortunately.
And one of the feedbacks that we had is that we didn't added a dishwasher.
Yeah. One of the things that people complained about was the dishwasher, which personally, like, us as Latinos maybe don't utilize a dishwasher, so maybe that was just our kind of choice because we're all Latino in the group. So, but yeah, maybe adding a dishwasher would have helped as well. One of the bad things was the neighbors, obviously having them next door and that not updated kind of hinders the value because no one wants an eyesore to the right or to the left or to the rear. But we added a fence, brand new wooden fence all the way through, and we created a partition. So what we did right here is actually stopped halfway because if someone's gonna buy it and maybe just use the back unit as maybe a guest house or something, then obviously it would make sense to go all the way through. So we're like, okay, let's leave it halfway through. So if they wanted to continue, it's not going to be a massive expense. They could cut it all the way through because we created a separate entrance. If you remember in the first video, there's that entrance in the patio. We closed that up and we added siding all the way through, obviously not leaving anything else exposed, fresh paint, and beautiful views to the mountain there in North Phoenix there. So the yard was actually pretty big. So here, if they use as a duplex, we would have recommended probably going all the way through. And I think if we look back now, we probably use this slab and extend it and make it into a one bedroom as opposed to having it in a studio. Now as a one bedroom duplex in the back and then 2-1 in the front, I think also probably would have been a bigger bang for our buck. But with the change in the market, we're kind of like running out of time more than anything. We're like, all right, we got to get in, we got to get out and move on to the next project. So we added a sliding door here, cleaned it all up. As you remember, it was that whole patio shop. It was pretty bad and gross. So cleaned everything up there, and this was a separate entrance now. So this studio had a separate entrance. We reformatted the gate, and that was fun because I gotta work on that a little bit with the guys.
The kitchenette. Yeah,
the kitchenette came out nice, and we added a double stack hookup there on that dead space. So that dead space actually ended up working out in our favor there because it was like the perfect size for it. And that if I look back now, obviously, like I would have wanted to extend that.
Yes.
Initially, extended the that second unit. I think extending that second unit and working with that from the very beginning, and having demo come in and take out that whole patio, I think we definitely would have gotten a better return.
Yeah.
A way better return, because at that point you're looking at rent rolls for one bedroom in that area about $1,400 to $1,500. And if the front unit could get rented out for $2,000,
yeah,
you're generating approximately about $3,500 a month. As an investor, I mean, a purchase price of maybe even $500 would have been achievable, because interest rates at that very moment were still about 4%. They were starting to climb, but interest rates are still at a 4%, so it would have been something where it's immediate cash flow. But also, the negative news that you get in the media, also, I'm sure, preventing some investors from like, maybe we wait it out. And then I'm glad that we ended up actually selling it at that time, because we would have lost a lot more value by just waiting a little bit longer. And maybe getting permits for that extension might have just been something that might not have been worthwhile. But
it was good. It was a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, the project itself, for the amount of work that was done, got done really, really quick. You're looking at, that was about 30 to 45 days.
Yeah, especially because the ceiling.
Yeah, the ceiling and everything being back ordered.
Yes.
The cabinets was an issue. The cord stops were an issue. Everything was an issue because things were so back ordered. This is something where we started in March, done in the middle of April, and listed the beginning of May. So to get everything all prepped up, and then it was stressful, because at that time I think we had took on a couple other projects as well. So it's like, we got to get in, got to get out. But now looking back, I think regardless, it was a great project. We learned a lot. Yeah. It's night and day from what it was. Came out really, really nice. I think the person ended up getting a big break on the price, and they were immediately cash flowing, because this ended up selling for, I believe, $415. Something along those lines, like $410. It was a great project. We didn't lose when a lot of people were actually losing at the time. So it's a good one, and would love to hear anyone else's thoughts. Maybe what else we could have done. Maybe switch this flooring. But that's the thing, though. It's like, it's easier said than done.
Yes.
Because we take out that tile.
Because that's what we thought.
Yeah, absolutely. That's initially what we thought. We're like, all right, let's take out this tile. And then we started going through the project. We're like, you know what? Yes. Maybe if we paint the room, because it was an ugly orange peach, we painted it white, and we're like, you know what? It's not the worst tile.
Yes.
And especially if someone's going to use it as a rental, I would prefer tile as opposed to anything else, even LTV or anything, because tile is more resilient to the damage that a renter is going to put into it.
Yeah. And there was like some problems that we had to put money, so it had to compromise. Like, okay.
Yeah, there was definitely things where we had to compromise. I think the kitchen came out a little pricier than what we wanted it to be for the size that it was. So those are some of those things that, looking back now, it's like, okay, great learning lesson. We didn't lose, got a lot of experience, and project came out nice, and it sold. So those are like the biggest things. It sold, everything went well. But yeah, shoot us your guys' comments, thoughts on what you guys would have maybe done differently, seeing the first video to the second video. And no, we appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any projects, if you guys do flips, we would love to see your flip, and maybe even have a video here to actually do that as well. So you got anything else, Rosie?
No.
All right, guys.